In the endless darkness of 41st Millennium, there is only war. There are no second chances. There is no peace. There is only war, endless, brutal, and eternal. But what if you fail to become the greatest warrior the galaxy has ever seen? What becomes of those who were chosen, and then rejected? Every world under the Emperor's light is built on faith, blood, and sacrifice. Every child who grows up beneath the banners of the Imperium is taught to believe in one ultimate goal: to serve, to fight, to become more than human. Among billions, only a few are ever chosen for something greater. They are called aspirants, young warriors taken from the most dangerous worlds, trained to endure pain beyond reason, and forged into something superhuman. They dream of wearing the holy armor of the Adeptus Astartes, the Emperor's Angels of Death, the legendary Space Marines. To become one of them is to be reborn. To fail is to vanish. Most people never ask what happens to those who don't make it. But the truth is far worse than anyone imagines. Part 1. The Test of Becoming. Imagine it. You are taken from your home, your tribe, your family, handed over to the chapter's apothecaries, the surgeons of the Emperor's chosen. You are told you will become a god in flesh. The process begins. Each day is pain. Each night is colder than the last. The surgeons replace your blood with synthetic life fluid. They cut into your bones and implant organs that should not exist. You grow taller, stronger, faster. Your muscles harden like iron. Your reflexes sharpen until you can dodge bullets. Your heartbeat slows to a single thud every few seconds. They call these the gene seed implants. Sacred organs gifted from the Primarchs themselves, designed to reshape a man into an Astartes. But not everyone survives. Some aspirants collapse on the surgical tables, their bodies unable to merge with the gene seed. Others live, but broken. Their minds twist. Their blood rebels. Their cells reject the transformation. And when that happens, there is no ceremony, no prayer, no honor. You are removed quietly like an error in the Emperor's grand design. Part 2. The rejects, the failed aspirants, are not allowed to leave. They have seen too much. Some are executed swiftly, their bodies burned to protect the purity of the chapter's sacred gene seed. Others are sent below, into the lower vaults, the hidden chambers beneath the fortress monastery. There they serve. They clean. They maintain the servitors. They assist the apothecaries in experiments too shameful to be spoken of. They live in silence, unseen by their former brothers, wearing plain robes instead of shining armor. They walk among the echoes of what they were meant to become. These men are called the failed, and among them, there are whispers of others who changed even after the rejection, who continued to mutate, to evolve. Some call it a curse, others call it a second chance. Part 3. The hidden vaults far beneath the monastery's shining halls lies another world, a world of darkness, metal, and pain. It is here that the apothecaries and the tech priests of the Mechanicus conduct forbidden research. Here they study the bodies of those who failed the transformation, dissecting, measuring, recording every cell that defied the gene seed. But there are rumors that these experiments have gone too far. In the sealed chambers, they have found something horrifying, something that should not exist. Some of the failed aspirants didn't die, they lived, changed, evolved into something beyond human comprehension. Their skin grew pale and hard. Their minds began to radiate faint psychic signals like whispers in the dark. Their blood carried strange patterns of growth, almost as if the body was trying to finish the transformation. On its own, The apothecaries tried to destroy them, but the Mechanicus wanted to study them, and so in secret, the failed aspirants were kept alive, imprisoned in containment tanks suspended in nutrient fluid, dreaming in silence. Part 4. The assistant among the failed aspirants working in the lower vaults was a man named Marius Velton. He had failed his trials years ago, his body rejecting the final implantation. But unlike others, he was not executed. His intelligence and discipline made him useful, so they made him an assistant, a caretaker for the mutated brothers who still lived in the tanks. Every day, he monitored their vital signs, recorded data, adjusted the fluid levels, but over time Marius began to hear something. A whisper, soft at first, calling his name through the hum of the machines. He thought it was fatigue or madness, until one day he looked into the eyes of one of the preserved warriors, a twisted giant labeled Subject Corollis, and the whisper answered back, not with words, but with thought. Part V, the connection. At first it was a dream, flashes of light, voices, numbers, but soon it became something real. The mutated brother spoke to Marius through his mind. He showed him visions of galaxies burning, of humanity's decay, of the Emperor's failure. He told him that the Imperium was not eternal, that the gene seed was a prison, a flawed design, holding humanity back from its next evolution. He told Marius that failure was not an end, but a doorway, and that together they could open it. Days turned into weeks. Marius began to feel stronger, his mind clearer, his senses sharper. His thoughts began to merge with the whispers of the other failed aspirants. One mind, many voices, a network awakening beneath the Imperium's feet. Part 6. The Awakening. When the apothecaries noticed the psychic surge, it was too late. The containment pods began to glow. The servitors malfunctioned. The vault doors locked themselves. Marius stood among the awakening failures, his eyes burning with golden light. He spoke, and the voices of 100 failed brothers spoke through him. We were discarded by the Imperium. We were told we were not worthy of the Emperor's light, but in our rejection we found truth. In failure, we evolved. What emerged from that vault that day was not human, not space marine. Something new had been born, an intelligence woven from pain, memory, and transformation. The Imperium's records say the vault was sealed, purged by fire, lost forever. But whispers in the deep data streams of the Mechanicus tell another story, that Marius Velton lives. That he leads a network of failed aspirants across forgotten worlds, and that they are still changing. Finally, the Imperium would have you believe that every space marine is perfect, flawless, divine, but perfection has a price. For every Astartes who rises, thousands fall, some die quietly, some are erased from history, and some become something far greater than what the Emperor intended. So the next time you look upon a space marine, remember this. For every shining hero, there is a shadow behind him, a failure that the Imperium tried to bury, and in that darkness something waits. Something learning, something evolving. Because in Warhammer 40K, failure is not always the end. Sometimes, it's the beginning of something terrifying.